All right, can you play your own bugle charges? So I've been learning bugle charges on the trumpet.
So when you say a bugle charge,
Yeah.
Like-
oh,
Yep,
that,
like that.
I get it. So it is I got it. So
I should run the Superman theme. I should do that for it.
Oh yeah.
well, hey friends,
That's a good idea. I'm writing that down.
I'm looking. We've got people watching. I'm going to check our
Yeah.
chat and make
it
sure
happening?
that it is happening. I hope. Hello, everybody. You know, you're going to note that we're missing some tunage. The tunage is not playing, and you know why? Because the world is a vampire set to drink. I'm just kidding. Because technology and all that good fun stuff. But I want to know, can you hear us? Hello, Alex, Thomas. Wait a minute.
That's me. Sorry, I tricked you.
Yeah, wait, how did Alex get in here? He was last week's guest.
That
Right?
guy. That guy.
Didn't change
Scott,
the locks.
can you hear us? Atune, Joe, thank you. Apuk, you can hear, and I'm so glad. You're live, vocal, and not echoey. Thank you.
Sweet.
That's the checklist. Well, so here we are.
I should probably put my microphone in place.
That sounds much, much better. Excellent. AJ Real says, yes, we can hear you. I could make some music noises or something. But instead,
We could ask Steve to sing.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Steve, you are a
You could ask, but that's not happening.
I love it. Well, so
Nobody wants that.
I think I do, but we've had this conversation about karaoke and singing. And I want to, we'll wait until we raise the $20,000 or whatever it was. All right. Well, welcome to Mutants and Masterminds Monday. And we are hanging out today talking about, well, quite a few things. And I'm elated. Is that a noise? Do I hear a noise?
Is there like a tapping? I think that's me.
Is that you? Oh, I wasn't sure if it was like a drum roll. I was like, is that a drum roll? Because there's something to say. That this kind of a big news. At least I feel like it is. Crystal, do you wanna
Well, sure. I mean, I don't know that it's big news. We've released something on the Patreon every Monday.
You are cruel.
It's great news.
Cruel.
All right. So yes, you may have noticed we have Alex Thomas on today, not as a guest, but for the first time as part of the Mutants and Masterminds family. Alex is going to be joining us as an assistant developer. He's going to be helping out on the Astonishing Adventures line.
I am so excited. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Crystal, and I can't wait to make some adventures with everybody. It's gonna be so much fun.
That is awesome. Can I, Alex, I just want to get in your head for just a minute. Now, when we first met, I could see you were just a true fan. You truly loved the genre. You loved Mutants and Masterminds. When this opportunity came together, what happened in your head?
Well, the same thing happened in my head that happened out loud, which is I screamed really loud and scared the crap out of the dog that was I was dog sitting. Scream might be too generous. Squeal might be a better verb.
I assure you, this is definitely one of those monkey's paw situations.
Right, yeah.
That's fine.
Now, for people watching, basically what we're saying is you're getting, a little bit of luck and a lot of bit of something else.
But yeah, there's been a lot going on, and I've had to focus so much of my attention on keeping the Astonishing Adventures releasing regularly that I haven't had time to focus on all of our hardback books, finishing up Danger Zones, getting the Vigilante's Handbook together. So we're bringing on Alex to take some of the weight off my shoulders and hopefully produce more releases for the general public.
And now we can focus on our efforts to have a capybara farm. Green Ronin Capybara Farm, and I'm really excited about that. The other
They come with
thing,
masks.
yeah,
Right?
yes,
That's what sets us apart.
that is exactly. Well, congratulations, Alex. You're a delight to work with. We've had such a blast hanging out, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all the stuff that you do. And everybody here is just like, congratulations, woo, yay! I'm sure you can see that they're saying woo and wee, and
Well, thank you all so much. It is a great honor and a privilege to be working on this game product with everybody. It's my favorite game in the world, and I hope we can produce a lot of content together.
100%. All right, everybody's saying congratulations. Thank you, everyone. There is an interesting question here. This is let's just kick this off. Terry Advent says, newbie question. Which is the latest iteration of the game, the basic handbook or the deluxe handbook? And what's the difference?
Those are both the same game. So they're both 3rd edition Mutants Masterminds. Basic handbook is more if you're brand new to the game and just getting started. It sort of takes all of the math for the game and puts it behind a curtain so you can just make a character quickly and get started playing. And the Deluxe Heroes Handbook is all of the bells and whistles, bits and pieces laid out for you so you can fine tune to your heart's content. The way we've described it before is going out to buy a car off the lot versus going home and building your own car or restoring your own car from parts.
There you go.
But they are the same iteration of the game otherwise.
They're the same game with slightly different character creation rules. And you can even take characters built from either book and play them together in the same campaign.
Yep.
Nice. So someone can get really crunchy and use the deluxe where someone else is coming in maybe with a little less, interest in the crunchy bits, and they can both play 3rd edition without conflict. Well, I mean, it's all about conflict if I'm not mistaken. But there you go, Terry. Hopefully you're welcome, Terry. Terry says, awesome. Thanks. And Apook says capybaras and alpacas for the win. I'm not sure how I feel about that. An alpaca farm? Do they spit?
No, that's llamas.
That's llamas.
Oh,
They do wrestle you, though.
They do wrestle?
Yeah,
Alpacas do wrestle.
Aww.
They're notorious herd wrestlers. So yeah, I can totally, yeah, absolutely. But you're going to say something.
They do a great heel turn.
They do, and that's why they're like coveted for their dance moves. It's really nice.
Oh yeah, If an alpaca ever comes at you off the turnbuckle, just get out of the way.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Corey Alcorn says alpacas bite. I'll bite by saying, hey, we've got some Patreon stuff to talk about. And I think that are we releasing today? I had it and then I lost it.
Today is the Beast of Kilimanjaro.
Yes.
So we've started our spring series of independent villains. We had all of you go to the Patreon and vote for your favorites, rank your favorites over time. Beast of Kilimanjaro was an early standout. Jasmine Sin was an early standout.
Yep.
Adamant was an early standout. So those are all going to be releasing over the next couple of weeks.
Troy did a terrific job with setting up ranked choice voting so that we could ensure that the characters that got the most overall interest were spotlighted.
That was a lot of fun. I really liked seeing the ranked choice vote results come in. And when we shared it with Patreon, they were pretty excited about it as well. It was just it really, rather than sort of give you just like the thing that people are voting for, it gives you that chunk of stuff that people prefer. So it's, like you may not have voted for, your person may not be, or your villain may not have made the top slot, but you got in there and you were able to really make a difference with your vote. So that was great. One of our most well-engaged polls. And so we'll do that again in the future.
I can't believe Belladonna didn't place. I loved her from Lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why. That's interesting.
That's an interesting question.
I think I just like characters nobody else likes.
Well, that's exciting stuff, and we've got so much planned for the Patreon. I'm thinking more and more as we talk about things like our merch, and there are some great opportunities. I'll be honest, I really do like Patreon. It really does allow for a kind of connection that is it's really different. It's a higher quality engagement, and that we can leverage that in a way that is suitable for people who are giving a monthly sort of subscription service. I mean, I think it's great. I'm not a fan of their merch.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big fan of it. And part of it is I know that they have to kind of do an aggregate, like they have to kind of pick it's not a vast number of things, but the way that it applies to the tiers is a little, I think, maybe challenging. And so what I don't know. We'll kick this off to a conversation because we have to do merch. We're talking about it. We are everybody on the Patreon, they are ready for merch. I just don't know that Patreon's merch system will be able to meet the needs of our discerning consumer.
No, we may have to look at some other options so far as that goes.
Absolutely, yeah. And I bring that up only to say, we're still looking at some stuff. We're trying to figure some things out, and we want to make sure that everybody is represented and represented well. But we are holding strong at 90 active patrons. The engagement is super strong, and I think that our merch should be just as strong. So, there we go, friends.
I will say that 100 is a really nice round number, though.
It sure is.
I'll just say my birthday's coming up. Maybe we could get 10 patrons for my birthday.
When is your birthday?
I'm not going to say. We better get those 10 patrons fast.
Right?
Yeah, we need that. We need that. Quick, everybody. Sign up and do the thing. We just need 10. And then I suppose we better do it fast because we really don't know when the birthday's coming. So
right? Could be any time.
Could be in 14 minutes at 5:30.
Well, that's true. Sign up now. Quick, hurry. I love it. So yeah, things are going great on the Patreon front, and people are getting in and doing the thing. Ranked choice voting, like I said, was really exciting. And as I'm kind of clicking through and checking these solo results, it is, we're looking at, that's right. Jasmine's, this is great stuff. I'm also wondering if there's any other news of the world.
Oh, there's so much. Do we want to talk about the Beast of Kilimanjaro, though?
Well, let's do,
Are we just leaving that up to the patrons to discover on their own? Because he's like one of our classic Kirby monster villains.
Right.
Let's talk about him.
Well, I mean, for the rare few members of our audience who are not yet patrons on the Patreon, maybe they would like to know a little more about what it is they'd get.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, this week they get the Beast of Kilimanjaro, who is a 30-foot city stomping monster with super strength, who was created a billion years ago by weird godlike aliens who visited the planet and for reasons you can't explain made a monster, left it behind.
Right.
They're like this is good here.
I like to think, like one of their action figures or something,
It's like when you leave a Hot Wheel at the sandbox.
Yeah.
Some alien kid was like, Mom, we have to go back.
I think if they ever
She's
show
like,
up,
I'll buy you a new beast.
They removed the beast from the packaging. The humans have ruined it.
It's not mint anymore.
We've got Space McDonald's at home.
Right.
I love it.
So every now and then the Beast of Kilimanjaro busts out and goes on a rampage through the city and basically slaps around Earth's mightiest heroes.
And with the Patreon can slap around your heroes.
Oh yes. So he is PL.
See how fun that is.
PL 15. So on his own he is terrifying, but because he is this not mindless, but very straightforward and blunt villain.
Focused, kind of
But he's usually accompanied by people either taking advantage of the rampage in his wake or trying to direct his rampage. So
a question about Kilimanjaro. So we describe him as an ancient, relentless inhuman. The beast is a legacy of the preservers. And then and he's been sealed away for some time. And what does he look like?
Like 30 feet tall with a dragon head and curling ram's horns. Like a squat baby body.
Blue. Is it blue or purple?
Kind of a
purplish blue.
Gray.
Blurple.
Yeah, there we go. Blurple.
Yeah.
He wears little purple trunks.
Yeah.
Like a true Kirby villain.
Right.
Kirby monster.
I love it. Yeah, well, that's great.
Can't look at him without thinking of that next gen line. Fin Fang Foom put you in his pants.
Mhm.
I might have missed that. I mean, it's an evocative line. I get a little
Right.
sense of what we're doing here. But I'm looking at the count here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was the top 6, right?
Yep.
So we might be actually looking at so it goes the Silver Hyena, Beast of Kilimanjaro, the Red Death, Legion of the Mind Virus, which people were very excited about, Cerberus and Jasmine Sin. That's the order that I show.
Oh, that's
The
not the
final.
order
order I saw over the weekend.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
Nobody was voting for Legion last I saw.
Yeah, it made Legion made it up into the category. Yeah,
Wow.
it's
All right.
Wonder if it's because we mentioned him on stream last week.
Oh, could be. Name recognition is everything.
Yeah, when we were talking about aliens last week, alien parasites and diseases came up during our conversation.
It's true.
I'll do it.
The vote is officially over, and that is I just noticed it, and I wanted
well,
to.
you're getting the Red Death anyway because I
was gonna
just finished
say.
laying him out.
Bonus content.
Well, that's actually, so there you go. Your engagement, friends. You were so engaged that you out engaged us, which is phenomenal. So yeah, no harm, no foul. And actually, they get a little something extra out of it, which is, very generous of you, Crystal, I'll say.
Right.
Oh, yes. Generous, not lazy.
Oh my gosh, only Crystal's laziness would would like turn out to produce more stuff for people.
Yes, Crystal's laziness actually generates content.
I mean, you joke, but yes.
That is so true. That is so true. I love it.
Look, just because I accidentally write things in my sleep sometimes.
Oh, right. You're a sleep writer.
Well, who of us hasn't done that? I mean,
right? Who among us? Right.
See, it's not weird.
Yeah, that's why you leave that little audio recorder next to your desk when you're a writer, right? So you can wake up and mumble something half-heartedly while you're asleep and figure it out in the morning.
That's where my award-winning graphic novel Purple Monkey Dishwasher came from.
I love it. I cannot wait for its release. Let's see here.
The problem was the purple monkey got stuffed in the washing machine with all those purple pants.
Oh,
well,
no.
They weren't purple when it started.
Right.
That was it. Purple by exposure to Purple Monkey. Let's see. Laying out the Red Death. Crystal is a superhero. Yeah. Would love to see an Astonishing Adventure series based on the Incomplete Hero's Journey Event Horizon adventure series that was ultimately cut out of the Cosmic Handbook. Okay, Matthew Tyler. Noted.
We've talked about it before.
Yep. Yeah, chance to go over the old notes for that concept.
Did you say you haven't had a chance, or you had?
Be it, an opportunity for us to sit down with Crystal and Alex and me and take a look at the old notes that we had for that.
I have a question for the three of you as developers, as people who put this stuff together and keep copious notes, I'm imagining, in many different forms, at least digital and physical. It says Madam Journals down there. So I'm wondering how
look at my journal.
You show it every once in a while. I've taken screenshots and I've deciphered what's next, everyone. If you join the Patreon, I'll
yes, it's the Legion of Super Pets.
Yes, exactly. But I'm wondering, how much do you end up fighting with your past self over like notes and things, and is it difficult to sort of marry that process?
I hate that guy. Past Alex is my worst enemy.
Oh yeah, past Crystal's a jerk. She keeps setting up all these responsibilities I have to fulfill.
Sometimes I leave notes in my margins and say, "Future Alex, fix this," with no reference for what I was complaining about.
Prescient. I love that. How about you, Steve? When you look at your notes, and how does that work for you?
I sometimes do wish past me would been more clear about certain things. I do occasionally have cryptic notes where I'm just like, I don't know what that means. Like, what was I thinking here? But otherwise, I'm a constant note taker. as far as that goes. I use these days. I use the Notes app on my phone a lot, mostly because I just like want to jot down oh, that would be a cool name for something, or whatever kind of notes. So I do that a lot. What I need to do is go back through those notes more often, because I have also on a couple of occasions written the same thing down multiple times, where I'm like, oh, I apparently keep having this idea. So
I ended up having a bunch of great ideas for Vigilante's Handbook like a year ago, put them in my Notes app, completely forgot about them until like a week ago.
I love that. That is, it's interesting. So just on this topic, I think that while it may appear like, people are like note taking, but it's kind of, it's your paper brain. It's your the extensions of your gray matter, depending on where you take those notes.
Backup brain.
Backup brain. Yeah. Talk to me, the three of you.
Meat brain is not worth a dime.
Not at all. No. Not at all. And then the meat wizard gets involved, and then everything is just very problematic. But I'm wondering, what are the tools? Like, put together your perfect tool set independently, and share, like, let's say best case scenario when you're being your best present to you and giving a gift to the future you. Talk to me about your perfect mix of tools for note taking. Let's start with Alex, and we'll go to Steve, and then we'll end with Crystal.
All right.
So I use a combination of things. I am a huge fan of the Scrivener software. Scrivener is a software for novelists that lets you make all kinds of journals and handouts, and you can have research sections and all sorts of stuff. So my notes are very labyrinth, and they have a lot of hyperlinks that connect to each other. I don't use the Notes app on my phone. I use a Facebook Messenger message to myself, because that leaves a notification so I come back to it later if I need something in the moment. Or if I'm driving, I'll call my partner and I'll say, "Hey, babe, can you text this to me? I need to have this for later when I get home, and I'm driving. It's not safe for me to type it out right now."
That is both safe and sound. I like it. Steve, how about you?
Well, like I said, I use a lot of electronic tools, although I still, whenever I leave the house, I pretty much always still carry a notebook around with me, especially when I travel. And just sometimes I just like to scribble. I like to handwrite notes sometimes. But for like quick jotting down quick ideas, I will just, put them on the Notes app on my phone, or the like. I tend to outline on, things like Google Docs and the like, because they're easily shareable and they're good for collaborating and that kind of a thing, unless I know I'm specifically outlining a project just for myself. But it's mostly electronic tools, unless I'm trying to think through something, and then I actually find I'm still better with a pen and paper for that kind of thing. And especially if I'm editing, I really am much better editing on paper than I am on screen.
No, interesting. That's interesting. Yeah.
I'm always way meaner when I edit on paper than on screen.
Yeah, I'll tone that down when I put the stuff onto, the actual electronic document.
Yeah, half of my red lines are WTF.
Right.
I like to edit the first pass on paper too, just because it makes me commit to it.
Very interesting. And then anything else, Steve? We'll roll over to Crystal. If not, and Crystal, what is your dream, like your dream note-taking scenario when it's all functioning the way it ought to?
I use a lot of different notebooks for different projects.
That's just for this month.
So this is my gaming notebook. This is my old Pathfinder notebook that I was referencing for some modern stuff. This is my Mutants and Masterminds notebook. I have more notebooks for different projects, and my Marvel Comics notebook is upstairs, and my graphic novel notebook is out in the shed where I do my writing. And so I keep track.
You have a writing shed?
Well, it's technically my woodshed, but I cleaned it up so that my wife and I have different spaces to have meetings like this in. So since lockdown, she has meetings all day at her job, and I have meetings all day with different clients.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's nice to kind of close yourself in a space and just sort of be and do. But interesting. This is great. Nathan Smith says, "I feel so seen. So many journals."
Right.
Pook says, "I want to see Crystal's writing shed." No, I mean, here's the thing. When
Right.
it's like, don't make me take you to the writing shed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like this office except with plywood walls and a bandsaw.
Yeah,
and an angle grinder, drill press.
A little more death trappy.
So that's why you don't work with some freelancers anymore.
Yes, I mean, I work with parts of them.
Work in progress.
So good. I'm making the perfect freelancer. Okay, let's see.
But I also use Google Documents when it comes time to actually like plan something out that gets shared with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are, most of this is like doodles and notes and my weekly schedule, things like that. Like, this is what I have to do, you know, remember to call this person, you know, notes that I have during, or that come up during meetings. And then Google Documents for tracking a lot of things so that I have access to them no matter where I go, even on my phone.
Real. Well, that escalated quickly.
Interestingly enough, I'm like a one notebook guy when it comes to my notes. So it's all mixed up in one book. You know, it'll be like, this page is an idea about this campaign I want to run, and this page is these notes about these work projects that I need to do, and this page is like a bunch of recipes out of this new cookbook that I want to look at.
Yeah,
and you know, that sort of a thing. So it's very stream of consciousness.
So handwriting, would you give yourself an A, a B, or an F?
I would give myself a letter home to my parents from the teacher.
Needs improvement.
Right. Yeah. Lots of people say I have nice handwriting. So,
okay,
I guess.
All right. Well, great. Well, so I'm looking at this, some of the questions here. One, you know, Chris, you're talking about your collaborative endeavor to build the perfect freelancer. A question from Brian Cordona says, Brian says, on a collaborative writing project, how do you approach finishing other people's work without stepping on artistic toes? And that happens a lot. Not unusual.
I mean, it's one of the big cornerstones of game writing, because most of the books you work on are, you know, 2 to 5 different writers, and you want everybody to have the same tone and feel like it was all written in one singular voice. So that tends to be where like a project manager or a developing editor comes in. They go through and make sure, most companies will have a writing style guide that are like, you know, use this turn of phrase, avoid these topics. You know, when you use the rules or talk about the rules, use this terminology. So that tends to kind of get everybody to the same baseline.
You know, I'm imagining that editing for tone is probably one of the more difficult aspects. Like, you know, grammar's grammar, right? Yeah. Interesting. That's a good note both on the tools and things, and thanks for that little sort of segue into that stuff, but also a good note for people, you know, people who hang out and watch Mutants Masterminds Monday. They are aspiring writers, or they're actively engaged in doing some stuff. And so, folks, if you have some ideas or thoughts on how you do things, Sean Vieira asks, Steve, do you bullet journal?
I don't actually. I'm super disorganized when it comes to that sort of thing. My partner, Adam, actually teaches classes in bullet journaling, and I still don't do it. Because
that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's and honestly, you know, my notebooks are often a process of like flipping, like, where was that thing, you know?
Right.
Wait, you don't take highlighters and color code your pages so you can flip to them in it?
Nope.
Jeez.
Do you use little
post-it
bookmarks so that they stand out?
No.
See, that's what you would use washi tape for too.
It's a disaster.
I don't even use bookmarks when I read. I just remember what page I was on.
Wow,
that
next
seems
level.
Like a weird chaotic people.
Wow, yeah.
Chaotic
I at
people
least
is
do use a
folding the page
bookmark.
down.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's kind of a weird flex, but we'll accept. Scott Halford says, I want to know if you lot are left-handed or right-handed, because as we all know, left-handed cursive. We are far too young to even know what you're talking about. Is the best handwriting, but I might be biased.
Mm-hmm.
Lefties or righties?
Yeah,
Right-handed.
no, I'm right-handed.
I'm right-handed, but I do write in cursive.
Yeah.
And I only use a pen in my mouth because I'm usually doing 50,000 things and I need my hands and feet to type and figure out why the audio doesn't work on this live stream, but it's working now. Let's see, the horror on Crystal's face. Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of like a mix of like horror that there was no bookmarking going on, but then also an admission that there's maybe some over bookmarking going on.
No, it's
there's no such
important
thing
to be able to reference your notes.
I just say, like, even when it's just you, when you're your customer, you are over delivering, and I approve. Nathan Smith says, okay, fundraising some highlighters and stickers for Steve, y'all.
Oh, there are far more worthy causes than that.
That is true. You could save your money and become a member of the Patreon, or donate.
I mean, there's a ton of like stickers, highlighters, washi tape, all the bullet. I mean, we have all the bullet journaling supplies, in Adam's office. I just never use them.
It might not be.
Sit down with Adam and figure out what washi tape is for.
I kind of, Crystal, I was having the same thought. I'm like, I had no idea. We should probably
so
just
pretty, but I never want to use it.
I'm not even sure what washing tape is.
Well, it's when you're in the shower and you want to make sure that you get one part of your body real clean. You tape it down and then you scrub it, and then it's wash-e.
Yeah,
like
WASHI.
Yeah.
This very thin Japanese paper tape.
And it's gorgeous.
It's usually like a bright color, or it has a cute pattern on it.
Or I've got some metallic ones. I'm like Crystal. I've got a bunch of washi tape, and I don't want to use it because it also is a little fleeting. Like it's got a small little roll, and so
I've got washi tape, and I'm afraid to use it.
Yep.
But I do like to look at it. AJ Real says, I use washi tapes on the letters I write to my pen pals. Oh, fun!
That's nice.
I think it's awesome. You have pen pals.
I do too.
Oh, I have a pen pal, but we just communicate on Messenger.
Right.
Yeah, you're all my pen pals. Here in the chat. You three are my pen pals as well, but also my video streaming pals. So let's see here. Brian says, sounds like a budget Brazilian. I don't know what that means, Brian. If you could send a detailed explanation via email, I would appreciate it. And if anybody's an artist who's watching this, hey, you know what I saw, by the way? I want to say hello to a person who has been away for a bit, but they're back. It's Raina. Raina Bauer.
Welcome back, Raina.
We're so glad you're here. Good to see you. And wow, the chat is hopping. We've got lots of people hanging out.
So do we want to talk about the subject for this week?
I was gonna say, like, we've really gone around the bend.
We could go off on office supplies.
We really can.
We can devote a whole show to our use of office supplies. Let me show you my
stencils.
I love it. My jelly pen collection. No, maybe we save the pens and stencils and things for next time and talk about. We've done a release. We've made a thing.
Yes, we released a Green Thumb Black Heart this week. That is our newest Astonishing Adventure, written by Steve Kenson, our guest this week.
He is one of my favorite authors. I love that.
He's
guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like that sort of thing.
So, Steve, why would people want to buy your adventure?
So, Green Thumb Black Heart is a nice. It's a nice standalone adventure for one thing, and most of our Astonishing Adventures are done so that you can play them as standalone stories. And it's also a Freedom City adventure. Although you could set it anywhere in any urban area you wanted, I think that it has a nice sense of place for Freedom City. And it highlights some elements of the city that we haven't really done much with in parts of the South Side neighborhood, which is nice. So we get a little bit more into the nightlife in South Side, into the stuff with Freedom College and the like. So that's fun. And you get to go up against the Green Man, who is, a fun, classic supervillain.
I would argue fan favorite.
So I think that it's got a lot of, and I think it's got a nice balance of action scenes with some investigation around it as well. There's a bit of a mystery to it for the characters to delve into. So I think that's a nice balance for groups of characters. Unless, of course, you're like when we played, Alex's Adventure, and you don't bring any characters with any investigative skills whatsoever. But we do address that in the adventure. So
we made it work.
We bludgeoned into something.
So I think it's just a nice, fun, would make a really fun episode of an animated series kind of superhero adventure.
Doing a quick screen share so everyone can kind of see what's cooking. Now I see what's happening here on the cover. It looks like this is our friend has joined the football team.
Well, the football team has joined him more accurately than anything.
And the Freedom City Orchids are well, they're heading for a winning season.
Right.
I love it. And then who are these two?
Those are two of our iconic heroes who are actually on the wrong coast.
Yeah, that's Rocky and Ultramarine from the Emerald City Sentinels.
I gotcha.
But
it was a traveling game for Emerald.
I was going to say it's an away game for them, obviously.
Yeah.
I love
That's why they're wearing the wrong colors for their costumes.
Wait, what?
They're not, but they should have an away version of their costume.
So, one of the things that you'll find out, my friend Alexander, is that when what will happen now, the Shawns have you in their sight, and they will start to pepper you with questions and things very specific that they they must know, and if they don't know, they grow in power, and so we've got to feed them information to keep them sort of docile.
That's
all right.
That's an interesting theory, Troy.
So far it's not proven true.
Have we tried holding still?
Yeah, you keep feeding them and they keep coming back. I think.
Or are there questions based on movement? We've never tried that.
That must be it. So if we stay very still,
very, very still, quiet,
talk without moving our lips, and then maybe I don't know. We'll have to work that. We'll have to work that out over the next few live streams. Okay, so one of the things that I love about Mutants Masterminds, and I learn more and more about it because I am no expert, is that you really, and especially with Astonishing Adventures, Raina says, I love the Astonishing Adventures line, so much fun. I love that it's really built to sort of be a menu of things. It could be one piece together bit, but you've modularized it, to use a term that I don't think exists. But
we could almost call them modules.
Oh, they're modules. I love it. They're fungible. You know what? We're fungible. We put the fun in fungible, I think.
That's one of Owen Casey Stevens' favorite words, and he is impressed it's important onto me.
Well, it is one of his favorite words, and that's why I knew what NFTs were. I was like, because they're non-fungible tokens. I don't know what they do or why we're talking about them, but at least I knew that
These
word.
aren't fungible. These aren't fungible at all.
They're very expensive baseball cards on the internet.
Josie mentions perhaps answering questions after midnight. That might be what the deal is, because when is it? I mean, it's after midnight somewhere, so I think we're just in a losing proposition.
Maybe we have to answer questions in sunlight.
Oh, don't answer them in the pool.
I can't go out in the sunlight.
Not until July.
Not after lunch. Gotta wait till you've done digesting your foods.
Yeah. No questions until an hour after you've eaten. Otherwise, you get cramps.
You hear that? And I eat 50 cookies before every stream, Sean's. So there you go. Let's see. Scott Alfred says, who is Green Man and why is he attacking Freedom City this time?
Well, the Green Man is formerly a scientist known as Nathan Grovemont, who
villains always have the most appropriate names,
right? What were the odds that that would happen? I mean, who was a botanist and an ecologist who developed a means to basically tap into the sort of morphic fields of plants in order to animate them, with originally the idea of giving the plant world a little bit more of a leg up in defending itself from all of us terrible animals. And of course, like most mad scientists, he needed those elusive research grants that are really hard to get for your mad science devices. And so,
I mean, really, if you're just building devices, you're more of a mad engineer.
That's true.
That's true.
That is true.
What mad theorems is he testing? I ask you.
And so, he went from, stealing money to, build more and more advanced plant gizmos to eventually trying out his, advanced, plant science on himself and transforming himself into a living avatar of plant life. And now he's the self-appointed, defender of the natural world against the depredations of humanity.
Interesting. Now, does he have can he communicate? Like, is there a dialogue?
Well, he seems to think so.
Okay. Gotcha. Interesting.
Yes. Also worth noting that this adventure is our official 3rd edition update for the Brides of Green.
Yes.
His 3 sidekick minion.
His 3 henchwomen. His Harleys. Yes.
His Harleys,
indeed.
yeah. I like it. Let's see. Apook, hashtag growth month was right. Let's see. Oh,
I want to meet the parents who are all organizing all these weird names for the supervillain kids. I feel like there's a potential there. There's a group of parents who's organizing all the accidents that supervillains befall.
Interesting. Or just by picking a name, they've kind of set them on.
It's like those overbearing parents who want you to get into Yale, except they're like, our family name is Bauer, so you have to have plant powers. You've got to be turned into a living tree.
Yep.
Right.
It's like, parents, do you want supervillains? Because that's how you get supervillains.
Your grandma Shrub would be rolling around in her garden bed. Let's see here. Sean A. Vieira says, 50 cookies. Troy, you need to keep a handle on that. I do. That's the only way I can eat so many so fast. If you do not have your health, what do you have besides 50 cookies? Well,
I mean, what else
I don't know that. What else? What I need are 50 more cookies. Yeah, I should watch out though. I do. Yeah, I should eat healthier cookies, like a health cookie. There's got to be something.
Oatmeal cookie.
I think that'll do it. An oatmeal cookie. Thank you. You saved my life. I love it. Let's see. Health food, and that's what we do here. A little bit of love and a little bit of medicine. Got a lot of bullshit. Let's see. What are you most looking forward to in a future project? Says Maggie Lynn Thomas.
Which one of us, though?
That's I don't know. That's
Alex.
I think all y'all.
You're the new kid. What are you looking forward to?
I'm just looking forward to seeing all of the fun adventures that we're working on and figuring out what parts of Freedom City and what parts of Earth Prime we can showcase that we haven't had a chance to showcase yet.
Yeah. I'll admit, we haven't been back to Emerald City in a little while at this point. And
it's true.
Yeah. And yeah, we haven't really been out in space in a while. Haven't been into the ocean.
The Terminus.
Oh yeah, we haven't gone into the Terminus at all.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to let Alex do an adventure in the Terminus, but
just the ocean. Do an adventure where we're walking into the ocean.
His adventures turned badly.
We've never had an adventure at one of those big box stores.
Right?
We could get a sponsorship.
I like it.
It's not a big box store, but I did write an adventure for the Harley Quinn animated series set in the world's last blockbuster.
Nice.
Harley was trying to take Ivy out for their perfect 90s date, and it kept getting ruined because Harley forgot to make a reservation. And she met the supervillains of Blockbuster. Yeah, they turned it into an Airbnb. Believe it or not.
An
Airbnb. That happened in real life. I can't take credit for that.
Is it an Airbnb? B&B?
An air blockbuster in breakfast?
Breakfast?
Yes.
Yeah, it was defended by a group of supervillains called Rewind, Late Fee, and I think I had Blockbuster because it was a DC game.
Oh, I was going to say, right, and the Blockbuster, of course.
Yeah, they're like, why is he here?
thematic.
The night drop.
Night drop. Yes.
Looks like one of the Sean. I'm gonna just randomly spin my Sean wheel, and it's Sean Vieira wants an adventure in a waiting room. Okay, Sean, you've spoken. I will write one for you. It's a lot of sitting in silence.
Right.
That's
I
it.
think one of the great things about the Astonishing Adventures line is that we've done more adventures for Mutants and Masterminds with that than we have ever, in the game's entire history.
Oh yeah.
And yet we still have this just vast list of adventure ideas that we're like, oh, and there's this, and there's this.
I love Pook says, oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's hilarious because I was originally brought on specifically to bring adventures to Mutants and Masterminds because that's the thing I'm known for. And I've been so busy. It took me 2 years to start the line.
And yet.
Oh. I love
and
it.
Now
and
I'm
yet,
here.
Plenty more. And now you're,
We're bringing you on specifically to do adventures.
It's that does crack me up again. I mean, I think that's
I'll see everybody in 2 years, I guess.
right. The waiting room of the cosmos. Okay, that's intense.
I mean, I imagine Norn has office hours.
Right? Gotta imagine.
That is true. Yeah. Pook wants an Atlantis adventure.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a pitch for that in the works. Well, not quite that, but it involves some crossover with Atlantis.
Well, Sean Vieira does say this. I always thought Green Man was Floronic Man with a Swamp Thing body. What does that mean?
The Floronic Man is a DC villain. Or no, is he Marvel?
Nope, he's DC too.
He's DC.
Is he just hanging out in Florida?
Plant Man is a Marvel villain.
That's right. I always get those two confused.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing's DC, but Man Thing is Marvel.
Yes.
Well, we're just all over the place, Sean Vieira, and it's your fault, but we're going to do this.
Yeah, he's really more of a Floron, or he's really more of a Plant Man with a Man Thing body.
So like a Floridian.
No, he's not high on bath salts.
Yeah, no, Florida Man would be a totally different character.
Green Man has never bitten anybody's face off that we know of.
That's true. Yeah. I know you haven't been to the riding shed. Apook says you gotta be vegan to have that thick Swamp Thing body. I like that you spelled thick with 2 C's, as is the way of things.
Yes, as it should be.
Yeah, yeah. Michael Mendoza says Green Man got that swamp booty. We'll go with it. So all things considered, there is a lot that can be done with the various pieces of the of this astonishing adventure. Talk about a little bit of the mechanics of it. Like, what are some of the? Yeah, break that down a little bit.
Oh gosh, we actually have a scene where the heroes are restrained after a trap, which everybody gets a hero point for falling into. Where the villain just monologues and explains their whole plan.
Yep.
Love it.
It's a classic.
I was delighted to see that. But yeah, there's other elements. There's a big investigation where you sort of go from lead to lead to lead, figuring out what happened and where it came from.
I mean, and the scenes are, designed like a lot of adventures so that the initial challenges of the adventure are relatively easier for the heroes. There's some warm-up kind of encounters as far as that goes before you get to the, sort of big challenging encounters at the end. So it's a good adventure for players who are just sort of getting their feet wet as far as learning how the game works, because it introduces things that are pretty simple to begin with and then get more complicated as they progress.
Yeah, and if you put things together wrong or you're not great at the beginning, then you end up with a really difficult fight at the end. But if you keep on top of things as you go, then you have a fairly manageable fight at the end.
Yep.
Green Man is PL12 and he's got some empowered minions, and you could end up fighting Green Man and all 3 of his brides and his drugged football players and a guy in green tights all at the same time.
All at the same time, but hopefully not.
If I had a dime.
basically, if you've screwed up that badly, you should go into this final fight with 8 or 9 hero points.
Scott Alfred asks how many sessions it would take to complete this.
I'd say probably 1 or 2, honestly, depending on how things play out.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your players and how much they like playing out, especially investigations. But yeah, this would be 1 or 2 for most tables. If you want to insert some side elements or extra fights, then you could easily take it up to 3 sessions.
Yeah,
I like that. Now, what if you wanted to play with actual plants?
With actual plants, the problem is they have to grow to roll the die. So you're going to want something that grows fast. A bean is a pretty good option for a player.
Nice.
It takes a long time to play any RPG in Old Entish.
Yeah. And you can't tell when they're frozen on the Zoom meeting.
Right.
That's the most difficult time.
It helps to get a little oscillating fan.
That's true. That is true. And also, you're like, have you watered yourself? Like, you're looking just so dry right now.
Yeah, drink some water, man. You're looking terrible.
You're looking terrible. You got to take care of yourself. Stop eating all the cookies. Let's see. Couple.
Stop eating my orchids cookies, Troy.
They look so hungry.
They're carnivorous. Of course, they look hungry.
Right.
I'll bring some meat cookies over.
That's a hamburger.
That is a hamburger. That is a hamburger. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That's
I never thought about that. I mean, there
really?
you go, friends. I really have not. I mean, I honestly had not.
Which is probably why your chocolate chip meat cookie has never taken off.
And it's not ever really tasted that well because I just wasn't preparing it. But I will tell you this, there was a time, and just sort of full disclosure, Alex, this is sort of the fun that you get. It's sort of little moments of my life. But
our world, Alex.
Yeah,
it's a good world.
I put a frozen hamburger patty into the toaster because I thought it was a toaster waffle. But I will also say I've not bought any toaster waffles. I was just like, there's a toaster waffle in the fridge. I'm going to eat it. I don't know whose it is. And
so you didn't have waffles at home and you thought it was a waffle?
Well, I have a life wherein that could have happened. Someone could have brought over some waffles.
Oh, that happens?
That does happen. Yeah.
The kind of life where people bring me waffles.
Right.
You don't, because it comes with a bunch of other stuff too. They make a big mess, and it's we'll say this was a year ago because we really haven't been doing much of that now. But but I do look forward to the random articles of ingredients that ends up getting left, so that I don't toast a big hunk of beef.
I think Troy's disembodied consciousness might be living in the Chop studio right now.
Yeah,
I think Troy's disembodied consciousness may be living with college students right now.
That is very, they're very similar in nature.
Well, Troy, I think you better be safe and just stick to green smoothies. Those are perfectly safe.
They are. They're especially in this
delicious.
Place. Yes.
So good.
I don't remember making this green smoothie that is now in something labeled not green smoothie. I'll go ahead and chug that down. It's been in there aging for a couple months. Scott Alfred says to a non-American, what's a toaster waffle?
Oh, it is a pre-cooked waffle about yay big around and
not good.
Yay thick.
Yeah.
They're sold frozen in packs of 8 usually. You take it out and you just drop it in your toaster and it toasts up into, I won't say a waffle, but something waffle shaped that's vaguely
something waffle-esque.
It's an act of desperation masked as Stranger Things marketing.
It truly is. Honestly, it is quite bleak. It is often the toaster waffle is accompanied with tears, either of a toddler or a grown man who is eating a toaster waffle. So you do the math on that, my friends. Let's see. Okay, this is great. If you're doing an astonishing adventure, if you're in Atlantis, be sure you have merfolk or Lionesians. Lionesians? Is that a thing we have? Listen, I just realized something. I looked down at the clock and it is 2:58.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time flies. Time flies when you're having a blast. Alex, welcome to the family. So glad to have you.
Thank you again for having me.
At some
I'm so
point in time,
excited.
we'll get together, and I want
I'm
to
so
make
sorry,
you
Alex.
I want to make you my favorite, my famous toaster waffle, meat waffle. It's so
Mhm.
delicious. The one that I tried to toast about a
Oh,
month
the
ago.
toaster
Okay.
waffle meat cookie
Yeah.
sandwich.
Never ever say meat waffle again, Troy.
I think I said that and I take it back, and I just feel like we got to just shut this whole thing down and like think about it.
Yeah,
until-
no, we're out. We're out.
Uh,
Shut it all down. Just
Shut it down. We're not doing it live. Crystal, Steve, thank you both. Anything you want to talk about real quick before you run?
no, I mean, pick up Green Thumb Black Heart. It's a ton of fun. It's Steve being his steviest.
Yeah.
It's Green Man, who is one of my personal favorite villains.
It's
I think you'll have a
$4.99.
great time.
Right? It's a bargain.
Yeah.
Grab the adventure. Check out the
$499.
Patreon.
If nothing else, you get the Brides of the Green, which is 3 new supervillains you can throw into your campaign, either with the Green Man or just doing their own thing.
Yeah. And then our eternal love, and we will send Alex to your home to play with you. So go ahead and sign up, and then if you pick it up, and
Gotta
you show
make
us
your
the
bones, Alex.
You gotta, yeah, you really do. We'll send Alex to your home. Just send a note to let's play at greenronin.com. And friends, we will see you this coming Thursday. We'll be there. We'll be hanging out with Thursdays with Owen Casey Stevens. And then we'll be back on the Monday after. And we've got a whole thing planned. You're going to love it. Thank you to our friends hanging out in the chat. Thank you to our panelists. I'm getting peppered with all kinds of messages. I'm going to say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Corgi says goodbye.